different plants, different voices, and different ways of having conversations. It's time to get personal with plant medicine. Welcome to Getting Personal with Plant Medicine. I'm your host, Diana.
And I'm your co-host, JR.
How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm acting like I haven't spent the whole day with you.
I know, right?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited for yet another Seedling episode.
As am I. We're talking about something that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's a lot of fun. All right. So I think we did talk about cordyceps in an earlier episode when we had Charlotte from Alice Mushrooms on.
It's possible.
I mean, I remember it was in the mix because they had just come out with a Desire chocolate. I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
It'll make sense.
I'm not even saying what
were in that. Yeah.
We didn't even talk about what we're talking about.
Yeah. Right.
I'm just going straight in. Like I said, we're raw dogging life today.
That's right. Spicy brains, raw dog in the life.
Neurospicy. Just not just regular spicy. We're neurospicy.
Spicy.
Oh, okay. So anyway, we were talking about it because they had just come out with a new chocolate at the time because their specialty, Alice Mushroom chocolates, as it says in the title.
Mm-hmm.
They have a series of chocolates that have functional mushrooms in them. And their Desire one, which was targeted towards like sexual health, vitality, had cordyceps in it. And at the time, I was a little bit confused. I was like, I don't really get it because I don't know. I just always assume, or I always associate, I should say, cordyceps with physical activity. I mean, now I'm saying it out loud. I mean, that is physical activity. I get it.
So. Well, a hot dogging or whatever they do in the.
No, we're not talking about soaking. We're not talking about hot dog. We're not doing that today. This is a Seedling episode, which means we're not going into this full force.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk about a little bit, and JR is going to drop some knowledge as always. But just really quick, going back to the Alice mushroom of it all. At the time, they were saying that cordyceps is known as the mushroom of the body because it improves energy, vitality, and stamina. It also improves blood circulation and hormonal balance. So that all works together in a way that can actually help with libido and stamina.
It creates blood flow to that member, so that helps with like erectile dysfunction.
That member?
that member down there?
I mean, if you don't have a member...
He's paid and subscribed.
Okay, back to what we were saying here. So anyway, the cordyceps was also mixed with a bunch of other things that worked really well together harmoniously. But what I realized is, cut to a year later or so, and we purchased a cordyceps tincture from a previous guest, Christian Rasmussen's MN Nice Ethnobotanicals. I have a hard time saying that word. Ethnobotanicals. Anyway, so I had that, and I had the cordyceps tea that you bought me for Valentine's Day. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I was like, all right, I think this might be a thing.
Yeah,
you know,
it might be a thing.
It might be a thing. So that's all to say that in my personal experience, I think it does help.
It does.
Vitality, energy.
It's actually what it was originally given for.
Right.
Oh, just go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, it was originally given for fatigue and for healthy lung pathways. Cordyceps are really cool. They're probably, even though people might not realize it, one of the most popular fungi outside of psilocybin, strictly for if you're in a part of nerd culture and you play the video game. I don't even know what it's called. Last of Us. Because that's what cordyceps are. They're actually considered the zombie fungus, because that's how they actually...
That's a video game?
It's a video game that was turned into a TV show.
Right. I know you watched the TV show.
Yeah, I didn't play the video game.
I was making jokes with your family about how the mushroom's going to take over someday, but I actually never watched.
Well, that can't really actually happen. What it does is, with like spiders and ants and stuff like that in the area, the fungus actually goes into their body and creates like almost like a parasite, and it rewires their brain, and it controls the ant or the spider to go up to a higher level, a higher ground, higher branch. And then from there, it begins to fruit. And when it fully fruits, it actually penetrates out of the cranium cavity of the ant or the spider and creates a fruiting mushroom. And then the spores, because it's higher up, are able to rain down and infect more ants and spiders. So it's considered like a zombie fungi because it can actually control the ants and the spiders and the caterpillars to be able to navigate in the way that is most desirable for its continuous breeding.
So it could take over.
No. So for one, it's
joking,
no.
joking.
Our bodies are way too hot.
I know they're not going to
for
take
it
over.
to survive. And even because the whole theory of the video game is that because of climate change, it evolves so that it can withstand higher temperatures. But even with that, our immune system would wreak havoc on it. It's not a hospitable place for it to live. But it's incredibly fascinating. With that, though, it's very limited. Earlier, we talked about turkey tail, which you can go outside and just find. You're not going to find that with cordyceps.
No, it's very expensive.
It's very expensive, and most cordyceps that you're actually going to buy are ones that are grown through, well, they spore
Prints.
Yeah, well, not spore prints,
They're
but
like propagations of the spores.
kind of. Well, you have to create your own. It's like a whole chemistry set.
We did not do ours.
We did not. We did
We
not
had
because
to-
it's a lot. There's like syringes and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So that's actually how
Scary.
most of them is being produced now. And I would love to actually get back into actually trying it. But that's how it's designed. But it was originally in Chinese medicine. It was given for fatigue and then for lung health.
And it was used by Tibetan mountain climbers to adapt to high altitude conditions.
Yeah, and that's going to help with your stamina and your lung capacity. You know, what it does, it's a little bit different. We spoke before about different fungi helping with this anti-inflammatory properties to help with the bronchial pathways. This one works a little bit different. So it does help relax. It is anti-inflammatory, so it does help relax those bronchial pathways and that bronchial lining. But what it also does is, so change of seasons, basically what happens in our body is during change of seasons or during certain chemical reactions, our body releases immune cells, mast cells, which in turn kind of activate and spread out different immune hormones. What's the word I'm looking for? Histamines. It releases histamines into your body. It wreaks massive havoc. That's all done through something that's in our body. It's kind of built up and released in our body from something that's actually found in our DNA structure in chromosome 5. It's a TSLP, thematic stromal lymphopoietin. And what that does is that activates it builds up and activates these mast cells to release these histamines into the body. So what cordyceps have been shown to do is actually kind of suppress that TSLP. So in turn, it's not going to push forward and build up and release as much histamines into the body. It's going to help with a lot of breathing issues, a lot of wheezing, and then with the relaxation of the bronchial walls, it creates just an easier pathway for you to breathe. So it's not something that is going to be like an emergency situation. If you're having an asthma attack, you're not going to run and start sniffing on cordyceps or drinking cordyceps tea. Still use your like albuterol inhaler. But what this does is it kind of builds the strengthening of your lung systems, creates more of a healthier framework. So especially if you are quitting smoking, or if you are a current smoker, whether it be nicotine or even cannabis or what have you, all that still continues to do damage to the lungs, some more harmful than others, but all damaging to the lungs. Really adding cordyceps into your dietary plan through tea or through tincture is really going to help strengthen your lungs so that overall you have a better lung health. And, you're not going to have as much damage from that inhalation of combustibles or really of anything outside of breathable oxygen.
Yeah, and it also, not to cut you off.
No, cut me off.
But it also can possibly, we're saying possibly because let's just do our disclaimer. We're not doctors. This is not health advice. we're saying possible.
Yeah.
It can possibly regulate cholesterol levels, increasing HDL, which is the good cholesterol, and reducing LDL, which is the bad one. And I'm really interested in that as I age because it becomes very difficult.
I mean, just through aging itself, because, with this antioxidant nature, it really helps decrease a lot of cell degeneration through oxidative stress, which is going to be good for your overall body, but it's also magnificent for the skin. So,
and it might also protect mitochondria, which means that it potentially slows the aging process.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Did you already talk about it?
No, I did not talk about it.
That was my line. I'm just joking.
No, I don't have lines. I'm raw dogging it.
It is known as the elixir of life.
Which is weird that it's also the zombie fungus.
Yeah.
That, it can do it all. It keep you alive and then possibly
kill you,
resurrect you and move your body about. It's just, I mean, I think it's just fascinating that because everyone views.
Are you talking about
plants.
The show or is that in real life?
No, I'm talking about real life. I'm just talking about primarily the intelligence behind these mushrooms and these funguses. Is a lot of people view plant medicine as just plants in general as just accessories onto our planet.
Right. And it's so weird when we compartmentalize it like that. It's just like because and I have grown up with them. Right?
Yeah.
Like we, I don't want to say that it sounds bonkers because that's not fair or valid. It's just at first you're like, why, how, what? And then you read more and more and more and you hear other people and they've had like decades of experience and just the incredible intelligence that is built into these mushrooms.
Yeah.
And the way they can just grow anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some of them can even grow inside your car cushions.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
That's insane. And like I said, with these, being able to create a system in which it's able to target what is going to help it flourish and grow. Because that's another thing. There are so many different
mushroom.
You're wearing your mushrooms, yeah. There's so many different types of cordyceps, and each one actually grow from different insects. So that's why I was saying that just because if they were able to adapt to a higher body temperature, it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll latch onto us and zombify us, because ones that grow from ants only grow from a specific kind of ant. And same with spiders and caterpillars. It's not like interchangeable. So these
can't just go from like one species
to another. They have to grow from the specific internal, system in place with that specific insect or arachnid. So they were able to basically target what they needed to be able to thrive and grow and create a system where not only were they able to infect it, but then control that insect or arachnid to a higher ground, rewiring its brain, taking over and controlling it, moving it to some place that would be most optimum for it to spread continuously, and then continue that cycle on. Something that intelligent is just incredible to think about, especially when it comes to something that most people would just look at and say, ooh, and walk away from. It's the intelligence behind this planet and this earth and everything surrounding it is so mind-boggling that we refuse to actually get in line with it, that we almost remove ourselves like we're better than it just because we can verbalize our thoughts in a way that the human ear can hear and understand. These other aspects of nature, whether it be fungi or plant or moss or so much, they can communicate just as different than us, and they have an intelligence beyond what we're giving it.
And speaking of intelligence, it also can help you become more intelligent.
It can.
Because it supports brain health and neuroprotection. And a study or a 2020 review in the Neuropsychiatric Disease and Treatment suggests that cordyceps has the potential neuroprotective effects, reducing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. So things like dementia. It can it could fight that. So I think like I just want to encourage people to think about mushrooms a little differently, because I was one of those people. I'm like, I don't like mushrooms, you know, and especially if they're not the magic mushrooms, I don't care. You know, I've heard that enough times. Yeah. But these are magic, okay?
These are zombie mushrooms. These are zombie mushrooms here.
Yeah, like come on now.
Yeah.
And the tea is actually, you can make it taste delicious. It's not even nasty. You know, we talked about our.
We had some this morning.
We had some right before we came in.
Because we did not get a lot of sleep, and then our bus situation got messed up with our tiny humans, so we had to take them to school. We were all jazzmarazed. So there was a possibility that we were just going to be staring into the camera going, oh, you know, but we took the Cordyceps tea and we drank it. And magic, zombie magic.
And on that note, I think that's a good place to end it.
It is zombie magic.
Your Highness Media. Subscribe to our podcast. Would you subscribe to Your Highness Media?
This podcast has been a product of Your Highness Media. Each episode is written, produced, and edited by Your Highness Media. Thank you for listening.